Alright, we're back with some random bits of info regarding Square Enix. For one, they're dropping some sort of like AI book at the end of the month called Square Enix AI that's meant to be like an easy to understand guide to game AI. I'm assuming to like the average consumer, but it's going to involve FF7 Remake. For one, they've used AI with the Remake project to improve like facial animations and camera angles and things like that, but also like Strife is on the cover of the book. The article from Silken Era here in a second, but I'm just kind of interested in this just because maybe it'll give us a different like perspective on the development for Remake. I don't know if it's going to be just specifically Remake or like the Remake project, maybe have some stuff regarding Rebirth as well. Square Enix has announced the release of a new book titled Square Enix AI featuring the FF7 Remake with Strife on the cover. The book aims to provide an easy-to-understand guide on game AI and will be published on July 30th, 2024. Pre-orders are now available. The book was created by Square Enix staff involved in AI development, aiming to make game AI accessible to a broader audience. It covers various aspects of game AI, including character definition, navigation mesh, pathfinding, steering, avoidance, 3D navigation, decision-making systems, and character animation. Additionally, the book explores character interaction, emotional AI, natural language processing, and the concept of meta AI. It also discusses deep learning applications in games, such as style transfer, automatic lip sync animation, and character animation generation. The final section addresses the use of AI in automating quality assurance, including bug classification and data analysis. The book is published by Born Digital and will be available in tankobon softcover format, consisting of 336 pages. It is written in Japanese and currently ranks 879 in Japanese books on Amazon. Now, when it comes to like game AI specifically, for one, I don't entirely keep up with all that shit. I don't necessarily care about the book itself. More so just the FF7 stuff that's in the book, just development side of things. It's kind of interesting. When it comes to AI and gaming, though, like my main concern or like what I don't want is like just auto-generated shit or like too much of that. Like I want to feel like there's heart and somebody like put the time into creating something that I'm playing or whatever. I don't want like auto-generated worlds necessarily or auto-generated like dialogues or quest lines or characters or whatever the fuck, right? I can understand using stuff like that as kind of like a baseline. Like it's a lot easier just like auto-generate like a town and then go through manually and like add shit to it and make it look like an actual lived-in town and things like that. Like that's sort of fine or whatever, but I just don't. I want to feel like there's like just dedication put behind something that I bought. Especially and that being the main thing is that we're giving companies our money to play these games most of the time, right? That it's not some sort of free-to-play game. And I don't want to give you like $70, which is what a modern game costs, and you just put a bunch of like prompts into like an AI thing and just auto-created the shit. What it seems like though with Square Enix, they're using it for like smaller stuff like lip syncing and like facial animations and things like that, and that's perfectly fine. Anything that can like help make development a little bit faster on games, like I'm always gonna be on the developer side, like the people who are actually making the game. If they can make their job a little bit easier, that's perfectly fine. I just again don't want you to just auto-generate me a game and sell it to me for $70. If you go on over to the Amazon page for this book, they do have a handful of images that we can look at. I don't really know what they say, obviously, other than using Google Lens, which I have used for a few of them. There's nothing particularly interesting from them. We do have a couple images of like cloud and things throughout the book on the cover and another page, and then at the end, the last picture shows Aerith and Cloud. Speaking of using Google Lens, though, in the last picture, because it had Aerith and Cloud on it, I wanted to like auto-translate it with Google Lens just to see if there's anything cool to talk about. Nothing in regards to FF7 necessarily, but like the very first part of it that translates, it talks about how they haven't really made any money off of their, I guess, the AI program that they're using or that they, I guess, created to use. It says, although we've not fully achieved our goals in terms of sales, we believe that it would be a huge loss of opportunity to abandon this technology based only on the sales results, and we wondered if it could be put to good use in the future. The AI department started working on planning AI partly because we wanted to make effective use of technological assets that had been developed in-house in the past. I thought that was kind of funny, though. Like, just the first thing I translated with Google Lens, it talks about how, like, I guess their AI program isn't getting the sales they want it to or whatever. I don't know enough about what they're talking about to even know what's happening. Like, I didn't even know Square Enix had, like, their own AI program or whatever the fuck. The bottom of the page, though, does mention, like, some FF7 related stuff. There's, like, Tempest, Let's Fight, and Cloud, which I'm assuming is, like, Tempest for Aerith's triangle ability from Remake. So, hopefully the book does talk about Remake, like, more in depth at some point. Really quickly, though, before we move on to the next topic, this actually isn't Square Enix's first AI book, because they actually put one out a couple years ago, or I guess a handful of years ago at this point, for Final Fantasy XV. I've seen it in like the suggested on Amazon. There's like a Final Fantasy XV AI book as well. Kind of weird. Never heard about it. Anyways, moving on to the next topic, which sort of relates because we're talking about Square Enix's investments, right? They're not making enough money off their AI. They have also decided to invest into a blockchain-based game, MMO, like soccer manager game. I guess football for the rest of the world. Soccerverse, a massively multiplayer football management game, has successfully raised $3.1 million in a strategic funding round led by renowned games industry publisher Square Enix, with additional participation from early investor Hero Capital. This brings the total funding to $4 million. Founded by ex-Soccer Manager CEO Andrew Gore and blockchain gaming pioneers Andrew Colissimo and Daniel Kraft, Soccerverse aims to revolutionize the football/soccer management genre by using blockchain technology to create a player-owned and player-led economy. The game is currently in open beta testing on the Polygon blockchain. The funds will be used to optimize the game's scheduled Q4 2024 launch and accelerate its subsequent growth. So we haven't talked about Square Enix and like NFT blockchain gaming bullshit in a long time. I just happened to see this today and thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know if they've been doing this and investing in the metaverse type shit for a while now. I don't know. I just happened to see this. Thought it was a little kind of weird, especially because we know they've been talking about not making as much money as they want to, and they canceled a lot of like in progress games. If I remember correctly off the top of the head, it was like wasn't like $100 million worth of projects or some shit. They got canceled. And it's like they did all that, and then like here's $3 million in this fucking blockchain game. Kind of frustrating. We don't know what was canceled as of right now. I don't know if we're ever going to know that, but like I'm far more interested in whatever the actual Square Enix games were that were in development than this shit. I will literally never in my entire goddamn life check out Soccerverse. I could give a fuck less about that. What makes it a little more annoying too is obviously we don't know what the games were that were canceled, but it's a possibility they were, remakes and or remasters of older Square Enix games, just because the company Tose, T-O-S-E, I don't know how you say it exactly, has been reporting like a profit decline because of like companies they work with like canceling in development games, which they've worked with Square Enix, right? They helped make Crisis Core Reunion, for example, which is a remaster or a remake, right? So it's possible that that company was working on potentially, remakes and or remasters of older Square Enix games that potentially have gotten canceled. And again, I'd rather have whatever those old Square Enix games are remastered potentially, if those are a thing that are being developed that were canceled, than whatever the fuck Soccerverse is. They don't just do like remasters or whatever. They also work on like new games and stuff like that. And they could have been working with Square Enix on like some sort of new game, new project, whatever, that also got canceled, right? It might not even be Square Enix that they're, accusing of why their profits are declining, but it's just a possibility. Before we move on, I want to say that like I don't think that the 9 remake would have been canceled, or the Tactics remaster, because those are like easy money makers, right? If they just simply remaster Tactics, it's gonna make them money. It's gonna make them more money than whatever it costs to remaster the damn game. And when last we heard, the 9 remake was being developed in house anyways, right? So in regards to that company having in development games canceled, I don't think that relates to like the 9 remake or Tactics. I could be wrong, of course, but I just feel like those are like you keep those games going and cancel a bunch of other projects first, because like those games are again guaranteed money makers. So, dudes, that's pretty much the video. Some kind of different topics today, things we don't normally cover too much on the channel here. We've talked about some blockchain shit with Square Enix before in the past. Mostly want to cover that book because, for one, there could be some maybe interesting development details we could talk about in the future from it. But also for the collectors out there. People like to buy, FF7 related stuff. It's kind of cool, I guess. A little bit of a unique item. And mostly want to talk about the Soccerverse stuff just to kind of bitch about it, because it's like, y'all could have just gave me the $3 million. Be more useful. Anyways, that's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @DavidYT. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more. And nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain, or leave it like Cobain.